My voice has changed, my face has changed. I have no regrets with that at all. So many people come away from bodybuilding, especially females, and have bad things to say when they made the choices.
How do you deal with that negativity online?
I remember the first comment that I got, and it was really quite hurtful. That made me cry. Career-wise, I want to be the best female coach for bodybuilding that there is in the world.
Kuba's coached you throughout. You're obviously married. How does that dynamic work?
So you've met Kuba?
Yeah. Yes guys, welcome back to the channel and another episode of the Pro Series. Today I am with Meg Sylvester-Cielien, bikini turned figure Olympian, another Olympian, stacking them up here, and co-founder of Team MK Coaching as well, extremely successful within the bodybuilding industry. So thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
She's just beasted me on legs, and if I go a bit funny, it's probably because I'm going to cramp, and my glutes haven't experienced that for a while. So yeah, we're now doing the interview after in a quite a warm room. So again, if I start sweating, you know why. But no, honestly, thank you so much. That was a great session. Really cool to kind of get an idea of how you train, and we spoke about kind of the split stuff. We might circle back to that, but initially, I just wanted to talk to you and start with kind of right at the beginning, almost before bodybuilding, because you and I share a similar starting point in terms of the aquatic background.
Yeah.
So you were a diver.
Yeah.
And like, how did you transition? Like, what brought you to bodybuilding from diving, and what did diving, do you think, kind of gave you
The tools.
to kind of get into like and start that journey successfully?
Yeah. So with diving, I think I was 20 or 21, and I just started getting a lot of shoulder issues.
Okay.
I did highboard diving,
Yeah.
so it's 10 meters,
Yeah.
not the springboard diving.
Yeah.
You have to be quite heavy set for that. I couldn't make it move, so that's why I did the 10 meters.
Okay.
But obviously, it's a lot of impact.
On the
It's
water,
like 40 miles an hour that you hit. It's like concrete.
Yeah.
So I dislocated it twice,
Right.
and then it just kept. It's called subluxing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It just kept going all the time.
Okay.
So they did a minor surgery. It didn't really get any better. So I just decided, because I was never going to be as good as what I was before, because of that, I was like, I don't want to do something and not be better.
And not be able to get better.
Yeah, I hate being stagnant, or I hate taking regression. Yeah. So I just decided that was it. I was going to focus on my career, which at the time I was training to be a teacher, a PE teacher. So I wanted to put all my focus onto that. At the same time, obviously, I didn't want to get out of shape.
Yeah.
So I just started going to the gym, and you obviously coach one of the people that went to my gym quite regularly, and he was one of the people that edged me into doing a bodybuilding show. Him and another guy called Paul Scarborough that most people knew said, "Oh, you should try bodybuilding." So I'd only been training for
you're in shape because divers are.
It's more plyometric work than strength work, really.
You've still got a basis for physique, haven't you?
Yours would have been pretty similar with aquatics.
Yeah.
But obviously, much like you, I had a very wide set of lats.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I had thickness, but I was very broad. Yeah. You have to have a very specific structure when it comes to sports like that. Same with gymnastics. So, and that was my original sport. Yeah. So, obviously, I transitioned over to doing bodybuilding more so just because people said, you have a lovely shape, you should just try it. I have a competitive mindset. So I was like, right, I'll give it a go. And I did the UKBFF Midlands, and I did all right. I think I came like third call-outs out of 3. I did terrible. But my next season was much better. But because of doing sport from such a young age, consistency, monotony. I
was going to say, like, I think that's where you had the advantage probably, because bodybuilding is boring. Well, it's great for us, but like, it's monotonous, isn't it?
Yeah.
So's training for, I mean, I imagine like for me it was just lengths, and I imagine for you it was just repeating dives or variations of. You had that mindset already. Yeah,
which I really didn't mind at all, and I like it. I like progress, so it was just another way to be able to put that flow into something else. So that's kind of where bodybuilding took off. Yeah. The mindset, came from doing that from such a young age. And I think that's the biggest barrier, obviously working with competitors like myself. And I'm not saying that I work with a lot of high level competitors, but because people come into bodybuilding and they've never done anything before, you have to, what's the word I'm looking for? Nurture them into it.
You have to learn how to be disciplined.
Yeah.
Whereas you had that.
I already had that.
In
Yeah.
you from a
So
young age.
the competing, the food focus, being able to stick to plan, etc., like wasn't an issue for me. It was more so just building the physique that was the issue, because I have good genetics, but I'm not saying that they're the best. I had to work very hard.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. So one thing just off what you said. So obviously, first show you did, didn't go great.
It last.
A lot of people, especially in this day and age, that doesn't go great. They're done. Let's see you later, bodybuilding. What sort of where was your head out there? Was it like, okay, I enjoy the process of this all, and I know I can be better and I'm going to be better.
Yeah.
I
think from the initial question, people have very high expectations of themselves because they're too involved within social media.
Yeah.
There's so many people that are on there that do really well in their first competition, and they expect that.
Yeah.
Whereas there is a 1% of people that will happen to.
You've got to look at how many first-timer shows there are in the UK. Yeah. There's still only one winner of each one.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of people, and obviously, like you say, it's like with all social media, isn't it?
Yeah.
We don't put, the second places, the third places, the last places. You only put when you're smashing it.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I think that's a really good point. And what year did you do your first show? Because where was social media at that point?
I think I still had MySpace.
Okay, good.
Yeah. I think I still had MySpace. I think that Instagram had just become a thing.
Yeah.
It was 2016, just right at the end.
Right.
And then my first real competitive year where I did quite well, 2017. That's when Instagram started to become a thing. But I only started my Instagram for me because you had your camera roll, and back in the day you didn't have a lot of storage, did you?
Yeah.
So I just used to post it so that I could have it there.
Yeah.
And then people enjoyed the fact that I shared my journey, but it was real.
Yeah.
Not just, it wasn't a highlight reel. I share the goods, share the bads. Even with my clients, I am someone who will post if someone's not placed.
Yeah.
Because I think it's good to be able to show the real.
But it's still for a lot of people, if a client comes in and they're the best they've ever been, it doesn't matter if they come first or sixth. They should be proud, and I think it's important to celebrate that.
I always set an expectation from the start. I just say it's your first competition. You have I'll tell them if they'll have the ability to do well.
Yeah.
Or I'll say, let's set some realistic expectations that you look great for you right now in your journey, but we might not come top 3.
Yeah.
But are you enjoying it? Do you enjoy bodybuilding? Yeah, I do. I said, well, I came last at my show, and I still carried on because I loved it.
Yeah, awesome. And then obviously, so 17 was a good year.
Yes.
When did you win your pro card?
18.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't a very long time between starting to getting my pro card.
And did you and Kuba win your pro cards in the same year?
Yeah, we won it at the same weekend.
Was it the same weekend?
It was a lot of pressure because he won it the day before me.
Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, he'd been competing for 11 years at that point?
Yeah, I mean, I did a show with Kuba. I did the Mabel Worlds in 2014. That was the first time I think we crossed paths. Yeah. So, because I remember that, and I was like, I knew it was close. That's amazing. So, I mean, what were the expectations going into that? Because I have a feeling neither of you necessarily expected.
Neither of us had the mindset of doing or winning a pro card that year. I'd done 2017. I did quite well. I won the UKBFF. No, it was Helen Panther's show.
The English Grand Prix or something.
I won the English Grand Prix, and I qualified for the Arnold's. I came 5th there.
Okay.
And then
that was when it was stacked.
And that was good. That's good because honestly, there was about 40 girls on stage.
I know. I think actually Yvette went maybe around that time. Did
because I've known her for a very long time.
Yeah, did the Masters bikini, and she was 40, 50 in the lineup, crazy.
Yeah. So in my height class, I didn't do well in juniors because it's always the tall girls do well in bikini. So I won my height. Sorry, I came 5th in my height, and then in the British finals, I think I came 4th or 5th that year.
Okay. And again, that's proper
Yeah.
Like that was stacked.
Because back
that was
then it
pretty much
was
all
stacked.
that was the only bikini really. Other feds hadn't really clocked on.
No.
Yeah.
But that year, I'd never done a different federation. I just did that because I always wanted to just become a pro at some point.
Yeah.
That was my goal. So I never wanted to go to a different federation. And then 2018 came. That's when I started training here at Ultraflex. It's called Iron Athlete.
Yeah.
Because I trained with a girl called Danny, and she was like, "Oh, we'll meet at this gym." And I started training here. I was like, God, it's like 10 minutes from my house compared to the gym that I used to train at, which was Muscle Unit, by Rob Taylor.
Yes, yeah.
But because of the traffic from where I lived, it took me honestly about 45 minutes. Yeah. So that's why I ended up here. That's how me and Cuba met. I was going to start competing at the start of 2018, but then I had a really bad car accident. Okay. Broke my foot, but to the point where they had to put some plates in it, and I wasn't allowed to put weight. Okay. So I couldn't walk for 12 weeks.
Oh, wow.
But I still trained.
Yeah.
I trained around it.
You don't have to be pretty.
Well, I pushed through my heels rather than through my toes. And that's the year I won my pro card. But that year I did NABA, WABA, PCA. I did all of them.
Yeah.
And then that's when the Two Bros started. So we did the Two Bros. It was called the British Grand Prix or something, wasn't it? I think that's when Mark Hector won his pro card.
Okay, yeah.
So there was, I think there was 3 pro cards awarded. Again, it was the tall girls that won that show in bikini. And then we went to Spain 2 weeks later, and that's when I won my pro card in bikini.
Yeah. And then, did you ever compete as a bikini pro?
Once, that day.
That day?
Yeah. So obviously Kuba won his pro card the day before, but there wasn't a lot of girls. There wasn't a lot of guys there because it wasn't like a known thing at the time, was it? To travel. It was a great
early on stages.
There was good competitors there, but it wasn't like stacked. And same for mine. I think that we only had like 3 of us.
Okay.
But there was a girl in it that's she's called Beatrice. She was a very good bikini athlete. Okay. She was very upset that I won because I think that she'd been trying all year. Okay. Yeah. But she actually went on to get her Olympia qualification that year.
Oh, wow.
And go to the Olympia. Okay. So that was good.
You turned it around.
Yeah, it was good. But that day when I did my pro debut, I think there was 29 or 28 girls in the class, and I came 7th or 8th.
Okay.
I think.
Pretty solid pro debut there.
Yeah, it was good.
And then obviously figure where you are now and where you've kind of really excelled.
Yeah.
Was the plan always to go to figure? Like, how did that happen? Did you just do an off-season and just brew like a weed, or was it kind of structured and thought, you know what, I prefer that look, or?
I wanted to do a figure.
Okay.
And
the bikini was more there because like that was where you were in your size journey, so it made sense.
Yeah, because I was very petite. Yeah. I'm a very petite female. I didn't have a lot of muscle, even though I had nice shape. There wasn't a lot of size to me. And I guess back then there wasn't the knowledge around doing an off season and progressing to do that. It was just about competing. And my coach at the time said, I don't think that figure's the right fit. It wasn't, but they could have also said, well, let's do a growing phase. We can, when I won my pro card, Kuba was like, I don't feel like you enjoy being in bikini. And obviously speaking to him and Jordan, I remember having a big conversation with them both at King's Gym when we went on for a training session. And he was like, why don't you just try? I was thinking, well, I'm the smallest in bikini. How on earth am I going to do figure? I was like, oh, we'll just try then. It is what it is. Because at that point, I was in bodybuilding, but because my career still wasn't in bodybuilding, I'm not saying that it didn't matter, but it didn't matter. Yeah. It was just, I was still having fun.
It was still a hobby very much,
yes.
Rather than a profession.
Yeah. And then I engrossed myself within it and just learned to love it. And that's where it all developed from.
And one hell of a development, yeah. So you did 2023 Olympia? It was last year?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and old time is going so quick. And obviously 2 pro wins in the lead up to that.
Yes. Should have been 3.
Okay, which was the 3rd?
So I did the Charlotte Cup the week before I won the 2.
Right.
In my opinion, that was my best look.
Okay.
And I'm not I'm not saying that.
When you look your best, it's hard, especially if you've then gone on to win too.
Yeah, because they weren't my best looks.
Right.
So, but again, it's bodybuilding. It's subjective.
Judges on the day,
if anything, I should have still won 2.
Yeah.
But it
Not
probably should have been the 2 different ones. Yeah. Yeah.
And how did that, like, I mean, like I've won shows, but as a pro, I was making up the numbers, which I was fine with.
Yeah.
How good did that feel? Like,
well, I've also been a pro, made up a number.
Yeah.
For multiple
but so I imagine
years.
like even better then, like just
for multiple
to climb
years,
the ranks like that.
I did that. I came in my first 2 seasons last, completely last, dead last. Not even just last call outs in the middle. I was on the outside of the outside. I think they even forgot to call my number most of the time. It was a very strange feeling. I didn't expect to go to win.
Okay.
I expected to go to get first call outs. Yeah. Because I put on a lot of size.
So the improvements you made that year were nuts.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I mean, I took a long time off stage. It was 18 months, I think, from the previous show to then, the Arnold's to then, and I was like, right, I want to come first call outs / top 3. That is my goal for this year. The year later, then I'd want to be able to try and fight for an Olympia qual. And then when I was coming down and looking at my pictures, I was like, oh, I reckon I could actually do quite well this year.
So the 18 months, so the Arnold you spoke about, was that 2022?
2022,
So that was when Kuba did it as well, and that was when I did that was my pro debut.
Yeah.
And then, so we both took a similar amount of time off then. That's good. And I mean, again, like, I think you mentioned it earlier, like, for a female to, like, take that time, it takes guts, because you're putting yourself in a position where, like, let's be honest, like, guys don't like being kind of off-seasonally out of shape, but girls don't like it even more.
No.
So driven on progress that you didn't really factor it in. Like, did you struggle with the mentality behind it? Were you constantly second guessing and going to Cuba? Can I diet, or what? Or how did you?
I'm probably, if you were my coach, you'd probably enjoy working with me.
Okay.
Because I'll just do what's necessary.
And Cuba did coach you through this period?
Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's never not been my coach.
Yeah.
So whatever he said got done.
Yeah.
Obviously, I didn't want to push certain things, but still things needed to be pushed to a certain degree. And I don't think I actually realised how ugly I was in my off-season.
I don't think we ever do, though.
Oh, goodness. I look back at my pictures and I'm like, oh, God, I looked like Shrek. It's really bad. I remember, Christian Chapman?
Yeah.
He came to do a push session with me in Cuba once and he went, look at the size of your head. I said it to him this year.
Christian has no filter.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
He I saw him at the start of this year and he's like, I didn't say that to you, did I? I was like, yeah, you did. He was like, you've thought about that for so long because you said it to me. It's like, it's in my head all the time. But yeah, looking back, obviously they were ugly, but they were necessary.
Yeah.
So at the time, I didn't care because I wanted to win.
I think, again, I don't think we ever noticed how bad we looked. Like, I've gone back to some off-season photos and I've honestly been like, what the fuck is that? Just like, like you said, size of your head, everything. Like, I don't off-season well. Some of these guys manage to, like, look fuller. I just get more, like, bloated. Gutted.
Yeah. I think it's a tall guy thing.
I don't know. Jamie always seemed to bulk really well, and I'll be there like, oh, I can't look like that. But
he would have been a genetic marvel there.
Yeah, he was something. Need to get him on here as well. So touching on, because I find it interesting. Like, obviously, like you said, Cuba's coached you throughout, and you've got your, obviously married. How does that dynamic work? So I'm just thinking, if I told Yvette to do anything, she'd tell me to fuck straight off. Yeah. And I think I'd get pretty annoyed pretty quick. Yeah. So obviously, you've said already, you're a great person. You're a coachable human being.
Yeah.
And how does that? Is it literally just he treats you like a client, and there's almost like a bipolar element to the relationship where you have that side and then the relationship?
So you've met Cuba.
Yeah. Intense.
He's a very. I have a lot of respect for Cuba.
Yeah, well, me too.
I think that people don't realise how much he cares about bodybuilding, how much he cares about his athletes, how much he cares about bodybuilding being able to progress and maybe it doesn't translate to stage at the moment in terms of his physique, but eventually at some point it will.
The progress is progress. Like,
yeah, so I, because I have so much respect for him, I wouldn't want anyone else to coach me. I think if anyone else coached me and they tried to tell me to do something different based on the things that I've then developed in terms of my knowledge, I'd just not listen. So if they have the same focus on just bodybuilding basics, like they try to say that, or lots of people try to say, we go too much into detail, there's too much science-based stuff, it's too fancy, etc. Like what we do, like what you've done today, it's just basic. We eat basic food, we train, we literally live the lifestyle. That's it. That's not fancy, that is bodybuilding. But yeah, we very much separate it. I'm very good at having everything separate. So work is separate, nothing is not work if it's not inside my office. I think it's because of diving.
Just being able to...
Yeah, like my coach in diving almost became like my dad, because I was 6 when I started and I was 20 when I finished. And I pretty much finished my entire career with him until he started drifting away a little bit. So I had such a close relationship with him that I feel having that in another sport was only going to be the only way to work for me.
I get that. I think you do develop, like, again, in swimming and diving, when the amount of hours you are together with your coach. Like
I spent more hours with him than my actual parents.
I like, my dad's taught me a lot, but like my swimming coach Tony, rest in peace, like literally, like he taught me about, when I think if I'm ever struggling for discipline, like I remember a certain situation with certain sets, I remember certain words he said, and like you said, it's that, and I suppose then like you say, carrying that over then to bodybuilding, you need someone who you can hold at that level in all aspects. But and what you said about Cooper is so true, because when I did this the episode of him in here, I left. I've retired from bodybuilding. I left and I was like, I need to get back into it. I was buzzing. Amazing. So let me just catch up with where I'm at. Potentially an easy question to answer, but within the career you've had so far, what has been the highlight? Bodybuilding career.
Everybody expects me to say the Olympia, don't you? No.
That's why I said potentially easy, but potentially not.
No, it was probably my first pro win.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that to be able to enjoy the Olympia, I think you have to do it more than once.
Right.
Because it's quite a stressful weekend. There's a lot of obligations. Obviously, when you go to a normal show, you don't have to do the athlete meet and greet.
That's it.
You don't have to go to the
press conference.
The press conference. Well, sorry, I wasn't good enough to go to the press conference. It's only a handful of people that do that. You don't have to go to what's it called? Athletes check-ins that are like. I mean, usually most bodybuilders are in bed at what, 8, 9 o'clock, especially when in prep. They were on until like 11 o'clock at night time. Same with the athletes meet and greet, etc. I mean, experienced Olympians were fine, and they just buzzed off that.
Knew what it was about.
It was very different for me.
That's a shock, isn't it?
It was a shock. It didn't affect my look in any way, but it was a bit more of a stressful environment. But the actual experience on stage was phenomenal, because I've never been in a crowd that like everybody's cheering for you. Because you go to a pro show and, I had the camera guy at one, I had my friend Loz at another, and then my best friend Ashton came to my other pro show. And it was nice to have them in the crowd to shout and things like that, and to celebrate those wins with them. But to have everybody cheering for you in the crowd in the Olympia was just phenomenal. So I would say first pro win was my favourite day. The Olympia is probably my second, but just a little bit stressful.
Oh, so I'm glad I kind of asked that. Within the bodybuilding journey, have you had do you have any regrets from anything?
My biggest regret's not starting earlier, really.
Okay.
Yeah, because I feel I could have maybe done more than one Olympia.
Right.
Before I decided to retire.
Okay.
But I've been doing it for such a long time.
Yeah.
There's certain elements to bodybuilding as a female that obviously come with part of the parcel.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that for any longer. I don't want to do that for any longer than what I have done. Obviously other females have, I coach other females that just aren't bothered. Yeah. But for me, I've always had that, and that's always been how I've been. Yeah. And I don't want to go back on my word because I want to be respectable. Yeah. Is that the word?
Yeah, like I think when you make a promise to yourself, like that is.
Yeah.
You know, if you can't hold that, then what have you got?
Yeah, I think that lots of people would probably say, you know, is your biggest regret deciding to go down the route of PDs?
Yeah.
But if you want to be an Olympian, you want to be a figure Olympian. If you want to be a bikini Olympian, yeah. I mean, if anybody's telling you that they're doing it natural, and I'm not saying that they're pushing the boundaries, but I'm a coach. Yeah. I also coach pros. I've seen stats from other coaches. Like, there is a lot more goes on than what
But for a female, any level really resistance. You know, yeah, some might get away with it, but some might not.
I wasn't lucky enough to get away with it. My voice has changed. Obviously, like, my face has changed compared to how it was when I was younger, but then I was a lot younger when I first started bodybuilding, so there's that maturity anyway. Yeah. So people would probably think that that would be my biggest regret. I have no regrets with that at all. It was always done in a safe manner. There's certain things that I wish I'd never taken, because we'd always stayed with very simple female-friendly things, and then we tested a few things based off my wants to do that, not anyone else's. I kind of wish I'd never done stuff like that, but and then that was very short term. But yeah, that it wasn't my biggest regret, even though people would probably think so.
Right. And with your retirement, because I didn't actually realise that you have. So that's it, is it?
Yeah.
And the only reason I say I didn't realise is because, and I suppose on reflection, like me, like you still live the lifestyle.
Yeah.
You still love the lifestyle.
Yeah.
How old are you, if you don't mind me asking that?
I'm 31.
Okay. When did you first think about, I need to, or I want to be done by a certain point? Was there, like, did you have an age in mind? Did you have a point in mind? Or did you just do the Olympia, thought that's great and I'm going to call it while I'm ahead?
One of my first conversations that I ever had with Cuba when I won Pro Card was that I want to compete until I'm 30. I want to have gone to the Olympia by the time that I'm 30, which I did.
Yeah.
And he said, okay, so what does life look like after that? I'm still a bodybuilder, but I just don't take drugs, and I don't compete on stage.
That's pretty much.
Because, I mean, I could take a step back without taking the drugs and go and do a different federation, go and do a different class. But again, like I said about with diving, I don't want to regress.
Yeah.
If I got on stage and I looked worse, what an embarrassment that is to me.
That's part of the reason, like, I retired, because I just felt I was getting to that tipping point of I could keep putting myself into the ground, but I'd still get on stage and there would be something that wouldn't be as good.
Yeah.
And like I said, you wanna finish on a high, whether that be the Olympia, what place to finish.
Yeah.
Or for me, just look, I'm genuinely proud of.
Yeah. And I always said to Cuba as well, after the Olympia, you know, from a realistic standpoint, could I actually do better?
Yeah.
Because.
And what would it take?
Exactly. Maybe I could push into a top 10, but with how competitive figure is now, and I don't have the best. I'm not saying that I don't have good genetics, but honestly, like being backstage, like my best friend is Rhea.
Okay,
I know what
like ratios.
I know what genetics, the ratios, like what that looks like.
Yeah.
I'm
nothing.
Not that.
no amount of assistance, no amount of anything is going to substitute that.
No. So I think it's great when people continue doing what they do because they love it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I would never think I would never not respect that. But for me, for what it would continue to take to just keep on turning up to come top 15, maybe hit a top 10 at the Olympia, I don't think.
Which still, apart from yourself, no one's really ever going to remember.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like you put yourself in that position, and then people are still probably going to remember you more for how you were around the gym and like your coaching and your clients and everything. And, nobody thinks.
And I can educate a bit more now.
You've done it.
You can't talk about certain things as a female when you're an active pro.
Yeah.
So being able to actually talk about it, but also not from an element of it being
demonising it,
because I hate that.
It's being matter of fact.
So many people come away from bodybuilding, especially females, and have bad things to say
they
when
resent it.
They made the choices. Yeah. I made my choices. I'm proud of the choices that I've made. I've done the best thing that you could do in bodybuilding, and now I get to help other people have the mindset or give them the tools to be able to achieve that.
Yeah, no, I think that's brilliant. Now, you are like such a lovely human being. Okay, like when you speak, you can tell your passion, and you're like even in training, just good crack. I've followed you for however long. I've known you for however long. One thing that has always like hurt me, and I feel like you get it worse than others, is that negativity online. Now, obviously, you've spoken about the fact that you appreciate certain things have changed, and you know why, and you own that. But like, I have to sometimes hold myself back from replying to, and you don't, because you don't engage with idiots. That's just the way it is. But how have you found that over like the course? How do you deal with it? How do you? It honestly, like, it hurts me to talk about, but like I hate it, and I feel like there are going to be people in a position where they're probably, I think we all get the odd comment, but like the level that you seem to get, completely unjustified.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the first comment that I got, and it was actually in lockdown, and it wasn't even a comment on my picture, it was just a message, and it was really quite hurtful. That made me cry.
Okay.
And then afterwards I thought, right, who's made the choices to potentially get some changes? Me. So why am I crying about something that I've chosen to do? Unfortunately, there's not a lot of females, especially assisted female bodybuilders, that do any content because of that fact. Yes, my voice has gotten deeper. Yes, I look different. But I don't think, in my personal opinion, there's definitely off-season pictures that I look at, but like right now, taking a step back from bodybuilding, I have all of my hair, I have great skin, I don't think that I'm ugly, like everything is like intact in terms of my female function, etc. So like I think I've come away from it relatively unscathed. But unfortunately, because people are maybe too ignorant to understand it, fair enough, they're going to have their opinion, and because I put myself out there, I'm going to have to get some. You look at anybody who is in any field of work, and I'm not famous, but within bodybuilding, because I'm likely one of the only females that does put things out there about anything and everything, training, nutrition, etc. I've got to accept that it's going to come to me, and honestly, I just don't care. I'm that busy that I just don't care. My mum comments on the things back to people all the time. And do you know Jack Thorburn?
Yeah.
I'm not being funny, but he must comment on 50 million different comments just for me.
Full-time ambassador for
Meg.
Meg.
I'm like, go on, Jack, yes. I was like, when do you have time for anything else?
Oh, you have to start like giving him a little paycheck.
But no, I honestly, I don't care.
Okay.
It goes in one ear, one out of the other ear. Maybe if I continued the path of being an assisted bodybuilder and things did start to go a bit further, and I felt that and then saw it and whatnot, maybe it would be hurtful because maybe I would have the regretful feelings. Whereas because I don't have any regret or guilt or anything, I just don't care.
Yeah. I mean, I admire it. Like I've spoken, like I say, I'll show with that things. I'll be like, I don't know how. And I don't know why, but again, like, I think when it comes to any level of internet hate or troll, they're a different breed.
Yeah, I know.
You try and understand them, and you're just going to get yourself worked up for no reason.
It's so funny, since I've taken a step back from, obviously, taking assistance back in October last year, the comments are so different. Yeah, I get so many nice comments about so many different things.
You're getting the same trolls being like sliding in DMs now.
Well, they'll message saying, "Wow, you're looking so feminine," and because I've not spoken openly a lot about coming away from competing. Slight things, yes, but like no one really needs to know. I talk about it if someone asks. I've said it on my own YouTube, etc. But it's just really funny to see the change in what people's tone is.
Yeah, people always find something.
And I think that people are very naive in that, yes, I am an assisted bodybuilder, but it's really funny. You go into the gym and 80% of girls are on Anavar, growth hormone, etc.
Without really knowing what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah.
Or any of the potential.
And they get the changes, and you just think, oh, yeah.
Right, I think we are coming. 2 questions. We're going to do 3 questions. I'm going to do 3 questions left. I like these. So, first one: is there anything that people often misunderstand about you?
Do you know, I get this quite often, and I don't even actually know what it is, because I always try to be just who I am. But one of my, I've started having a lot more professional athletes that have started coming to me for coaching, especially since I've taken a little bit of a step back from, because they must think, you know, you have more time, which my clients have never had.
I know.
At the Olympia, I had one of my clients ringing me on show day, crying. I had people checking in on show day, like nothing was changing, regardless of what I was doing. Had people in peak week doing pro shows, etc. the whole time that I was competing last year. But understandable that people now start wanting to come because I'm not.
I feel like you're more the coach than you are the athlete.
Yeah, which is fine. I understand that totally, 100%. And essentially, that's what you build up to be able to achieve anyway. And I forgot where I was going with the question.
Things people misunderstand about you.
Oh, I had one of my athletes say to me this weekend, I just had a really big misunderstanding that I thought that you weren't going to be the way that you are. But I didn't actually ask, so what did you think about me? But I've had so many people say, I didn't expect you to be the way that I am.
You're not quite sure what they expected?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know if they think that I'm hard-faced, if I'm rude, if I'm opinionated, if I'm anything.
Because I know you too well, but like I'm thinking of your, like, again, what people are going to see from social media and your content. I think you come across well. Like, I don't.
I always try to make it at least educational, maybe a little bit opinionated at times, because I don't like it when people aren't locked in.
But again, like that, you need to be that way, because that you're going to attract the people who you want to work with. Or you know, at the end of the day, if you're, and I believe it as well, like, you know, if you're going to do this sport, it needs to be a fucking priority.
Yeah, I think also people misunderstand the fact that, you know, I am a bodybuilder. Bodybuilders that want to be a pro, I expect a certain level to what they do.
Yeah.
But when it comes to adapting, if they have different jobs, if they have different lives, maybe that's what they don't understand.
I think it's going to be like, right, this is
whereas
it.
I've been a teacher, I worked in corporate finance and bodybuild, and was a professional athlete and trying to push my own business at the same time. I understand.
You know the
I have a family. I look after my mum. My grandma's not very well. Things like that. Like, I understand.
Yeah.
So maybe it's that. Okay. I don't know.
Okay. So retirement.
Yeah.
What's next? Like, where? Yeah. Again, I suppose, like Cuba asked you all those years ago, like, what happens now? Where's the focus? I don't really like the whole where do you see yourself in 5 years, because I never think that far ahead.
No.
But where are we going? What are we thinking?
Physique wise, I'd love to have a physique like a wellness competitor.
Okay.
But that's never going to happen.
But legs 4 to 5 times a week. She's going to try her fucking best.
I'm going to try my absolute best. But I just want to have a bigger lower body and a smaller upper body. Yeah. But because of, just like you, I have a wide frame from my previous sport that I don't know if the upper body's ever going to really taper down. I think there's always going to be a taper.
I think you're always going to have, you know, your frame's your frame.
I would love my erectors just to
chill out.
just disappear.
She says, and she'll be RDL in the week, and then she'll be squatting and everything.
The RDLs have been pulled out.
Okay.
But apart from the belt squat RDL.
Right.
But in terms of, you know, career-wise, I want to be the best female coach for bodybuilding that there is in the world.
Okay, I love that.
That is my goal, because, you know, it's saturated with men.
Yeah.
I think that there's lots of men that do it really well. I think that there's the opinion that a female can't do it well. And I want to change that dynamic. Yeah. And I'm not saying that, you know, I am the coach for everyone, because I'm not. No one is.
That's the joy of coaching. It's like, it's a relationship.
People people fall off,
Yeah.
people leave. Like, it is what it is. If
People
somebody
like you
wants
or they
to,
don't.
yeah,
like,
people want to try something different, fair enough. But I want to be the best female coach that there is in the world, and I want to become an educator for female bodybuilding, that people feel like they have a space to be able to talk about it, because there is not that at all.
And you mentioned the podcast. Is that?
I've started my podcast.
Okay. Is that how many episodes have you done there?
I've done 3.
Okay, wicked.
Yeah. So it's all around.
What's it called? Sorry.
It's just called the Empower Podcast.
Okay.
Because I started an Empower 12-week project at the start of this year for more lifestyle coaching, just to show that I am more diverse, which has actually gone down incredibly well. Started the podcast called Empower, everything regarding, I'm wanting to do, like workshops around the, well, I say world, here in the UK, maybe around the world at some point. Yeah. That, I mean, not just females come to, but males as well. Just about bodybuilding and being a bodybuilder and enjoying.
Sharing the experience.
Yeah, because, there's so many influencers that talk about if it fits your macros, to a certain degree, that's fine. Yeah. You can understand the difference between chicken and cod, you know? But I want to educate and share the process of a monotonous, straight talking, consistent female that can just hang with the men.
Yeah. Well, I've seen some of your client results, women and men, and I'd say you're well on track, Meg, so keep that shit going.
Yeah. Right,
final question that I ask everyone. What does success mean to you?
Everything. In the land of which? Bodybuilding?
Bodybuilding, life, like when you think, let's say when you think of like you're in your 70s, your 80s, you look back and you think, have I been successful? What's coming to mind?
I think this is the problem. I think being in sport for so long, and I'm sure that you're very much the same, I think that you always want more.
Yeah, okay.
It's very hard to
be
satisfied at any point, because you always want more. It's like, I could finish bodybuilding and just move on to something else. Or just be okay with plodding along with being a lifestyle coach or whatnot. I don't want that. I want to be able to help others become great athletes. I also want to help people know that they can have busy lives and still eat well, train hard, even if they're not competitors. I think success to me would just be when me and Cuba get a little bit older, that we are able to be in a position where we can just travel the world.
Okay.
Because I was very lucky when I was diving that I was able to do that. But inside diving pools with one day.
I know, I was going to say, I've seen so many swimming pools in different parts of the world.
Exactly.
But I've never really seen much outside of that.
So being able to do that and have the luxury to be able to do that
gives you that freedom.
Yeah, would just be success at the end of a very long road.
I like that, because, and I like what you said as well about like, that lack of satisfaction that we find very hard to. I think certain people like us, we need to learn to appreciate things, but then we're always worried that is then lazy and we're missing out on. I know I'm the same even now. I'm in a position where I can pull back to an extent, but anytime I think about that, I feel like uncomfortable and guilty, and I'm like, no, there's got to be more. There's always more. So, Megan, thank you so much. That was brilliant. You shared so much, and absolutely fantastic episode. You're a superstar. So wishing you all the best with absolutely smashing the shit out coaching, and I look forward to seeing how your clients get on. I know they're competing this weekend as well. So I'll put all Meg's details below. Guys, a fantastic episode, a fantastic session, a fantastic woman. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you later.